What's going on? How y'all doing? Well, tomorrow night starts the new season of TV One's Unsung. And episode 1 of the new season starts with Morris Day. 40 years ago, the time emerged on the scene. Now, if you were a kid back then, you may know that there was obviously visual similarities, musical similarities between Morris Day and Prince. And then everything got revealed. Prince was James Starr, and he did the bulk of the instruments, but him and Morris Day collaborated. Morris was the drummer. Prince did every other part, and there was a little bit of contribution with Diz Dickerson. 779-311 was his actual phone number. Lisa Coleman played on the stick. And Jesse Johnson collaborated a little bit on the second album, definitely on Ice Cream Castles. But it was predominantly Prince and Morris. Low-key rumor Andre Simone was on had something to do with the first record a little bit, but that's another story. But anyway, formed this band, which was like a ghost band, but Prince was kind of like, the funny thing, Prince was watching the movie The Idolmaker, and he wanted to create an alternate ego based on parts of his character. And Morris Day was kind of like nerdy dude, but they grew up together in Minneapolis. Morris was a long-term drummer. They played in a band together growing up. And Morris Day, the story goes, wrote the song Party Up, which was on Prince's Dirty Mind album. Offered him a deal. Said, you want 10G or do you want your own band? So, got his own band. So anyway, and that's how a lot of stuff gets formulated, People don't really... And also, Morris played on Prince's records over the years. The long version, Let's Work. Probably on the original too, give or take. He was Prince's original drummer before Bobby Z, and that's a whole nother story. But anyway, formed the time with some of the cats out of Flight Time with Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. The whole story with Jerome Benton holding the mirror and the whole thing, how Jerome got in. Monty Moyer on keyboards, Jesse Johnson from Rock Island, Illinois, guitar player who was rocking the pink before Prince was rocking the purple. That's a whole nother story though. Jesse had a lot of stories. But anyway, but Morris and Prince. And then Morris had this character that Prince created, concoct this whole cooler than cool. But it fit Morris to a T. Fit him to a T. And as you know, he stole the scenes in Purple Rain. And the funny thing is, Prince helped create this monster, but he could never pull off the character in full. He tried in Cherry Moon, and it wasn't quite the same. Prince had a coolness about him, but he didn't have that kind of flair that Morris did. It's funny how because Prince tried it again with Sheila E. on Glamorous Life and then on her Romance 1600 era, and she just couldn't quite pull it. It wasn't the same. It was just a stroke of genius how it worked. But anyway, Morris had success working on those Time albums. I think What Time Is It is the best album that him and Prince was associated with together. But drumming on them cuts, 779-311, them cuts, Cool, all that. For Cool came out 40 years ago. Fresh Pair of Baggies and Stacey Adams and the whole nine. And they really had an attitude. They were definitely inspired by Kid Creole and the Coconuts, August Darnell, so you definitely need to check that out if you didn't know. But then Morris, like I said, Post Purple Rain, Jungle Love, The Bird, Big Hits, and Purple Rain, stole a movie. Had persona, but he didn't have no real bread. For all that work with Prince, he didn't get paid. That was the same stuff. See, the things about this, I'll just say it like this. People, Prince don't like to hear the truth about how he was tight with the loot and how he was funny with things. And he was funny time with some folks. But anyway, him and Morris, if you think about it, let's see, he did Purple Rain and then Graffiti Bridge, and then they worked together on various projects, all the Time albums, And then they came back as the original Seven Condensation, even though no involvement with Prince. But he talked about different stories. Prince told him he loved him before he died. He knew something was different there because they had a very odd relationship. They were like brothers, but it was a real, battle. It was real intense. Morris' solo career, McCullough Success came out in 85. Remember the Oak Tree? Prince was mocking that. With Sheila E. when they did a Love Bazaar in Frisco. He always took little shots at Morris. The OG version of Old Friends for Sale. You know, some of my friends got trapped in the snow, little dig at Morris, cocaine. Same thing with Playing the Sunshine. You know, took little shots at him over the years, but he always kept an eye on him. They both were watching and checking for each other because they go back as boys. And you got to think about it. They both needed each other. Morris needed Prince because that was his life bloodline and his beat to get into the industry and get himself out there and perform. Prince needed Morris to expand his creativity and to also, and persona and etc. So it was a real intriguing situation. I do have that Morris Day book, by the way. And, it was a trip out book. Morris is still playing. He's still touring with his version of the time, Morris Day and the Time and different things. But the Unsung should be very compelling. One thing for sure, like if you're a fan, like if you like Bruno Mars, especially Uptown Funk, you'll definitely see where he got some of his style and influence from. There have been other people who definitely been inspired by Morris Day because it was a clean style. It was funky. It was fresh. And it definitely had an aura about it. So looking forward to the highs and lows, the politics, the different films. He did a movie with Richard Pryor, Moving. He had 2 or 3 TV shows as well. So he had an interesting roller coaster. Nothing ever rivaled what he did in Purple Rain, but he had some opportunities. So anyway, that's my thoughts and tips about the Morris Day TV1 Unsung coming on Sunday. Check it out. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Welcome thoughts and comments. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another, and it's always important to know where people got their beginnings and how some things are cool, some things ain't cool, and you see how things unfold. All right, peace.